I'm Hayley Bell, and this is TTRPG News. I can't ever do it with a straight face, so that's totally fine. I'm not even going to try anymore.
Tonight's top stories.
In the TTRPG universe. There were actually this was like a slower week for news, I feel like 2 weeks ago.
Unless you do Pathfinder.
Then
everything just blew up.
But what? So Pathfinder, Paizo announced this last week with in conjunction with Demiplane, which is a group that is the group that actually created D&D Beyond. They have created the Pathfinder equivalent called Pathfinder Nexus. It is literally D&D Beyond, but for Pathfinder.
Made by the same guys.
By the exact same guys. It is a really cool system. I mean, D&D, we really like D&D Beyond, but the Nexus system kind of takes everything to the next level. They've included some really cool features, including video chatting on the app itself. So no longer are you going to have to
run Discord and run your other stuff
and Roll20 and have your
since it's made
Beyond or your Pathfinder Nexus open.
Well, because it's made by the same people who did D&D Beyond, you're gonna get your integrations with Roll20. You're gonna get your integrations the same way you have them with D&D Beyond, but not having to have Discord open as well. I do wonder how it's going to work with streamings.
In integrations, that's what we're wondering too. Is there was a third party that created? Okay, this is supposed to be the news. We're not.
There is also. Fantasy Grounds and all the other ones, Siomat.
We know. We're going to talk about that.
We'll talk about them more later.
We're not going to go into depth about that. This is just the news because that's actually our main topic for tonight. But you can pre-order right now. You can create a free account that is going to give you the information and access to all of the things that Demiplane has. But if you are specifically looking for Pathfinder Nexus, you will have to pre-order. And just like with D&D Beyond, you have to purchase all of the books. Again, they're $29.99 per book with a free starter set for beginners who are starting out with Pathfinder for the very first time.
Miss me.
Seema, I love that you just demand that. Miss me.
You will miss me.
Will. Anyway, so that is going to be, and Weston, can you put the command at Nexus? We're going to drop a link in the chat if you're interested in going and checking that out. Like we said, it's still in kind of beta pre-order right now, but it is set to come out the beginning of this next year. So we are a couple of months away. So far as we know, Archives of Nethys, which is literally all of the Pathfinder information for free online, is still going to be available. Paizo is not pulling the plug on any of that. Yet, but
I think if they do, they'll lose a whole ton of the people. So. We'll talk about that later. We're gonna get into that later.
Okay, Weston. The next one's mine too. So we're seeing the ripple effect of Paizo officially recognizing the union of the Paizo workers. It has already started. I know last week we talked about it a little bit, but the Comic Book Writers United, which is at CBWUP DX on Twitter.
That's kind of hard to
I know. They have officially dropped that they are going to be unionized. They have been working on it for a while, and they're actually working with the same company that the Paizo employees worked with as well. So this is already having a massive effect on the industry. And what we had talked about previously is if it's moving that way, the big companies had better freaking get on board.
They're going to have to get on board. It's going to be a very interesting. We're going to see a lot of shakeup over the next year of the space as far as the way things work. It might be awesome. I mean, there are a lot of things I can think of it would be good. There are other ways I think it could definitely change things a lot. And I'm really interested to watch over the next year what it does to the space. What it does for the content creators.
Yeah, because it could be, I think overall it's going to be really, really good for the content creators, but it's where it goes to the level that, like, how you saw at UPS when you worked there, where it was literally like, you cannot move that truck because it is under the purview of the union. So even though this truck is blocking the bay, nobody can move it until somebody from the union gets there to move the truck.
It all depends on the way that the union works. How well they work with the companies. And
I think
can't
overall
know.
It's going to be good though, because it does give the the creators more power, and especially in comic books, when comic books they're dying right now anyway, and they're really, really struggling, and they're trying to get more audience into it. I think having a union where the actual creators, and you don't have executives who are making decisions just across the board, having the creators with more power is going to be a good thing.
Well, it's like we know that the main writer for Superman left just recently.
Yeah, just recently.
Because of things that upper management were wanting to impose upon his writing. Mm-hmm. They were saying, you're writing in your story, Superman needs to do this because we want him to.
Yeah. So you can go check out their Twitter and stay up to date on everything that's going on with the Comic Book Writers United. It just started like yesterday, on Halloween, which I thought was kind of interesting. But they seem to be getting a lot of attention.
Wizards of the Coast, you're next. They're going to be coming for you very soon. And
speaking of Wizards of the Coast, Weston.
Speaking of Wizards of the Coast, so also in news, so Wizards of the Coast has a bit of a reputation, and it is a little warranted.
It's not a good reputation.
No, this one's not.
We are not sponsored by Monster. Even though I'd be totally cool.
You're just drinking them.
I'm just drinking it. We're not sponsored by them. I'd be totally cool if we were, though.
So this next story, if I could find the tab where I had the new story on, would be very helpful. So give me 1 second.
I wasn't ready to vamp. I was mid-swallow.
I know. So the Wizards of the Coast, they, of course, huge company, have deals with a lot of different companies, and they actually are in a lawsuit right now.
Big surprise!
So according to the National Law Review, there is one of the distribution companies that they have been working with for a long time, ACD Distributions, LLC.
My ears are just really hot. My fingers are cold, so I'm like touching.
Okay. They have been a distributor for Wizards of the Coast for their games, all that different stuff. And
do they distribute the book as well? No, that would
probably
be
the books.
Tor.
Well,
Wouldn't that be Tor?
Tor would be for the written books. I don't believe it'd be for the gaming books.
Not for the gaming books, but for the written books, because the other lawsuit is with
Tor
Tracy.
Tor would be the written, the novels, but for the game books and the boards and the board games and all that, that was going through this company, ACD Distributions, and they decided, hey, we've got this contract with you, we're canceling it. We're just gonna shut it down, and you get no say in it. We're done. So they took them to court, and at this point, the Ninth Circuit Court of appeals. No, the Ninth Circuit Court of the Supreme Court. I guess it would be.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be. They have ruled that nope, you can't just decide. I'm going to stop a contract out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And this is exactly like you said. This is exactly what they were trying to do with Tracy and Laura Hickman.
So if you guys don't know about that situation, Tracy and Laura are actually very good friends of my family, well, of my parents. And they are the writers of the Dragonlance series. At first, it was Tracy and Margaret Weiss, but after a while, their writing relationship ended. I don't know why. Yeah. But then Tracy began writing with his wife, Laura, and they essentially tried to completely jackknife all of Tracy Hickman's future stuff.
Well, and the book they'd already been contracted for a book. It was already mostly written. Yeah. They'd already received their advances from the publishers, from Tor. And then Wizards of the Coast were like, oh yeah, JK, LOL.
We're gonna pull the right that you have to write in this world, essentially, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I personally think that Wizards of the Coast is making some very bad decisions based on political pressure and not based on fandom.
It does remind me of Disney. Exactly.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing that Disney does. And that's what we are going to be talking about that a little bit tonight with the D&D Beyond stuff. It's going to bleed. It's going to make sense. It's going to be a hot topic.
But yeah, so they are currently in that lawsuit. With that on distribution, so we might actually for a little while have some trouble getting our games.
Yeah, because of the legal battles that they're in.
Because if they can't get distributed their stuff, it's going to be interesting.
Well, and Wizards of the Coast likes to think that they're the big dog and untouchable, which is not true.
Which is going to make it interesting when the union tries to come in.
I know it's going to be interesting. Oh. But now for our indie roundup.
Indie roundup.
Okay, I really am going to create a different jingle, I swear.
You need to.
I'm sorry, I'm not Sam Riegel. I can't just create jingles on the fly. So our first, we do the command thing.
Oh, yes.
Our first spotlight feature today is Andrew Kaiser. He is on Twitter at Andrew Lyceum, which Weston is dropping his info right now. He is a streamer. He's a really great content creator, a good friend of ours of the show, and he's a brand new dad. Aww. They just had their third little baby just a little while ago.
Support the daddies.
Support the daddies. He is currently running a giveaway right now for a key to Tailspire, which is the 3D online terrain building software, which is really cool. Once he hits 1,000 followers, and he is going to run a game special for that giveaway person within Tailspire. So
that's fun.
It's really cool. He's a really awesome person, really awesome content. So go check him out and give him a follow. The next is Sight Designs. Their Twitter handle is at Sight with an uppercase T Designs. They have an incredible new book in the works. It's all about apothecary and potions. And this is the really cool part, is that it's supposed to work for all TTRPGs across the board. Mm-hmm. So they did not make it like game specific. They've made it very generic, but I've got to say, you guys, they've been sharing some of their artwork on Twitter.
Gorgeous.
Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. So go give them a follow to keep up to date on that book. I know that they're most likely going to be just releasing it as a ebook or a PDF, but it's so pretty. Like, it's totally worth it just to follow for the artwork. And then
and maybe some ideas, even if you don't buy it. I mean, some ideas for your own homebrew if you want to. Like, ideas come from everywhere.
Yeah, and if you can't, I know that a lot of these independent creators also have Ko-fis or Ko-fis or coffees, however you pronounce it. And you can drop them a few bucks. I try to do that as much as possible with people that I admire within the industry. And then our last but definitely not least, another good friend of the show, Secret Nerd Podcast. Their socials online at Secret Nerd Pod, at Secret Nerd Social. Wait, oh my gosh.
Click the link.
Weston just put it in there. It's an interview podcast on why TTRPGs are for everyone. It's a really awesome guy. It's a fantastic show. So go show him some love and hit that follow button on Anchor.
Click.
He is only like 2 or 3 listens away from 1,000 downloads.
Oh, wow.
So that's a huge milestone for podcasts. Go follow.
Go support.
Go listen. Go support the creators within our community because, rising tides rise all ships and all that jazz.
Speaking of following and subscribing, if you have not followed or subscribed to this channel, you can do that. You actually, if you have a Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free. You just go in, log into your Amazon account, link it here with your Twitch account, and you can subscribe without costing you anything additional. What?
Hold on.
Okay, we're holding. We are holding.
Something just popped up on my
Did we get some news dropped?
Joe Manganiello is apparently going to be doing an adult animation based off of D&D.
I have heard that he is doing some stuff with Wizards of the Coast. They've brought him in on some of the books that they're doing.
So the new indie animated film is a dark fantasy filled with gore and violence following the corruption of a continent due to the influence of the Bloom, a magical plant capable of granting great power to those who wield it. You guys, this is full on based off of his home game.
Oh yeah, it's going to be his home game. It's going to have Archon in it.
Home game.
Archon will be in that.
That's amazing. So this is like TTRPG news adjacent. Anyway, okay, so that is the end of our TTRPG news segment. So Maestro, let's hit the buttons.
And back to our main section.